Hello, good morning. Today we're going to learn one more chord. We're going to learn the G7 chord, and then we're going to put together the last three chords that we've learned, the F, the C, and the G7, and we're going to put them all together and play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So that's our goal for today. So we have our handy dandy chord chart. So the first thing I'm going to do is write, I'm going to find my pen. I'm going to write the F that we already learned. I'm going to do that in green. So again, here's the F, where we have the first fret of the second string and the second fret of the fourth string. So that's the F we learned a few days ago. Now, for G7, we're also going to use that same note right here. We're going to use that first fret on the second string, and then we're going to put a finger here and here. I hope the blue and the green show up differently enough on here. So these green dots here are F, and then the G7 is this little triangle here. So you're going to have a finger on the first fret of the second string, the second fret of the first string, and the second fret of the third string. So let me show you what that looks like on the ukulele. So we're going to do the first finger right here on the first fret of the second string, just like you were playing an F. Remember, here's our F. So just lift up this finger and keep this one down. Then we're going to put our third finger, the middle finger, and for real the middle finger this time, on the second fret of the third string. And then we're going to put the ring finger on the second fret of the first string. So it's a little bit tricky because you want to make sure that you're only touching one string per finger. Because if you start to like kind of slide, it's going to do this weird thing. So be on your fingertips, cut your fingernails if you have to. And you have this little pyramid shape here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to flatten my fingers a little bit just so you can see, but you don't want to play like this because then you'll push multiple strings with one finger. So here we go. First fret, second string. Middle finger, we're going to do the second fret of the third string, and the ring finger, second fret of the first string. And it sounds like this. So that's your G7. See, it resolves really nicely to a C. So C to F to G7 back to C is a really, really common chord progression. So this is what it would sound like. Here's your C, here's your F, your G7, and then back to your C. So even if that's all you do is just practice that, that's a huge thing to know how to do, that chord progression from C, F, and remember, leave this finger down and just pivot your hand to G7 to C. So feel free to do that a bunch of times. I did write out the Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on my handy dandy whiteboard here. Is this going to be too high? Maybe that'll stay. Kinda. No? All right, well anyway, I'll hold it here for a second. So what I've done here is I've color-coded it per chord. So everything in red is gonna be a C chord, and then the green is F, and then the blue is G7. So again, like with Wheels on the Bus, I wrote the words and then I wrote the chord above it. So this is where the chords change. So you're gonna play Twinkle, Twinkle is on C. I'm going to switch to F for little, and then back to C for star. F for how, I. Wonder is a C. G7 for what, you, and then back to C for our. And it keeps going like that for the whole song. Let's see how I can do this. Get my kid to come and hold the board or something. That kind of works. All right, well, you don't need to see me for this. You can just look at the chords. All right, okay. So let's try it super slow together. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Back to F. How I see, wonder, G7, what you are. Back to C. Stay on the C. Above, F. Love the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. All right, I'm gonna take a minute here. I'm just gonna go over the first 2 lines here, like super slow, so we can get that. And then once you have that, you can just go back and watch this, or just take a screenshot, I guess, of the chord progression and just practice it. It'll get pretty easy pretty quickly. So let's prop that up again. All right, so let's just do that first line. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So I'll do it like this so you can see my hand too. You're gonna start with a C. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. Now F. Little. And now back to C. Star. Let's do that one more time. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Now back to F. How I see, wonder, G7. Remember, that's this little pyramid guy we just learned. What you, and back to C. Let's do that one line again. G7 and back to C. There, let's put those first 2 lines together again. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. There, sounds good. Now I'm gonna play the whole song. Straight through, kind of at tempo. So if you know the chords and you can switch between them fairly quickly, you can play along. Otherwise, it just gives you an idea of what it'll sound like. So let's do it again like that, so you can follow along with the chords. There we go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And that'll be our lesson for today. See you tomorrow.